Hello, my name is Ghost, and I want to introduce you to my little pal. Now, where did he go? Oh, there he is. Hey, what's going on? Oh, dear God, you look horrible. It looks like you caught a bug. A couple patches ago, Chucky adopted a new bug that affects his scamper. In this video, we will go over how the new scamper works versus how it originally worked in his P2B. But survivors, don't be weary. I'll also cover some good practices to help you counter the scamper as well. I'm currently working on a full Chucky counter video, but that will come out later. Till then, these tips should help in dealing with our wee bastard. First, some basics. Chucky can enter their power called Hidey Ho. From Hidey Ho, they are able to initiate a dash attack called Slice and Dice. While in Slice and Dice, if Chucky interacts with either a pallet or a window, they will initiate what is called a scamper, which will allow them to vault the obstacle quickly and follow up with an additional Slice and Dice. Chucky is able to flick one time per Slice and Dice with a maximum turn rate of just 90 degrees. This limit resets as soon as Chucky scampers and initiates a new Slice and Dice. So just think, one turn per dash, at least kind of. However, today we will strictly be staying on the topic of his bugged scamper, so let me explain how scamper is supposed to work before I move on to how it is currently working. When Chucky scampers a window or pallet, their orientation is reset to a forward position, regardless of what direction Chucky approached or was facing before scampering an obstacle. This means Chucky has three options for movement. He can continue forward. This is why holding W after a vault is an impressively horrible idea. Or he can turn to his immediate left or right, staying mostly parallel with whatever obstacle he has scampered. This is mostly a blind shot, as Chucky will have to pan their camera completely down, giving survivors options to avoid the attack and mind game. The best counterplay has always been to loop the short end of a loop as opposed to the long end, as you would with a regular killer. The goal being getting around the corner of the short end to take advantage of Chucky's 90-degree turn limit. Getting around any of the corners beyond the scamper point should result in you hitting a safe point that Chucky should not be able to hit. If in full doubt, there's actually one technique that you can still use. While Chucky's about to scamper a pallet or window, if you vault it yourself as a survivor, you will both avoid their hitbox and stop them from being able to scamper the obstacle themselves, leading them to fly off in a completely different direction, creating a lot of ground for yourself. When in a tight pinch or without options, you should always try to at least tuck into the corner of the obstacle about to be scampered. While this might not ensure that Chucky won't get their hit, it's always worth at least trying when no other option is available. Okay, so what's different? Namely, one thing has changed, and it sounds simple, but it has some far-reaching complications. Chucky's orientation after a scamper is no longer automatically reset to a forward position after the action. Instead, now Chucky's orientation will be dictated by the direction to which Chucky approached the object they scampered. Okay, so in practice, what does this mean? For killers, this means a scamper is a little bit more complicated, and some extra considerations and good positioning will be much more important than before. Namely, as you approach a loop, you need to decide which way you think the survivor is going to go. Are they going to take a vault? And if they do, are they going to keep going forward in the same direction they were going? Or are they going to double back and head towards the direction you're coming from now? If they're going to continue forward, you want to slide into the window sideways so that your positioning is facing the same direction the survivor's heading. Then you can follow behind them, and as they make the corner, you can use your one flick to get around the corner and hit them. If you think they're going to come back from the direction you're already heading, then you want to come at the window or pallet head on. That way you can turn back the direction you came from. Overall, this means Chucky has a lot more options for securing hits. However, it also means there's a lot more you need to consider before you start a scamper. That is, until this is fixed, if it's fixed. Things have changed on the survivor end too, and we'll go through all that as well. For survivors, looping the short end of a loop and making it around the corner is no longer a guaranteed safety zone. Since Chucky can now have their orientation fixed left or right after the scamper, they can save their 1 flick per slice and dice to get around corners they normally could not have. But wait, I can hear you now.
But Mr. Streamerman, if Chucky can get around all these corners now, doesn't that mean there's no counterplay?
Well, no, in fact, counterplay is mostly the same, but for a different reason. Take advantage of his limited turn rate. In order to do this now, we're simply going to turn in the same direction Chucky approached the vault location from. If Chucky approached the vault from the right side, that is the direction you will turn to avoid them, and vice versa. This is because if Chucky approached the vault from the right side of the window or pallet, they will be facing left and therefore can no longer turn right, as that would be a 180-degree turn, which they cannot make. In order to avoid this, Chucky would have to go and loop wide to try and get a more head-on approach towards the vault location and reorient themselves forward after the scamper. However, doing this should give the survivor more time to make distance and reach safety. So, in short, as a survivor, after vaulting, turn in the direction that Chucky approached the vault location from, unless you see them go wide to try and take the vault more head-on. In that case, take the short side of the loop as you would normally. Now you should understand how Chucky's current scamper bug works and some basic ways of counterplaying it. Now, this isn't all of the counterplay to Chucky and his kit. This is mostly just covering his current form of scamper. Later on, I'll upload an entire counterplay video on all of Chucky, and even further after that, an entire guide on Chucky himself. Please like, follow, leave a comment about why Chucky is the worst killer in Dead by Daylight, and feel free to come find me on Twitch. I'm live pretty much every day, all the time. You can also find me on the MrSmithsonian's channel, where I do late night by daylight. So, yeah, tons of places to find me. I hope to see you there.